Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain chapter number 5, Minerals and Energy Resources from Geography. And today's topics are: number 1 is non-metallic minerals, number 2 is conservation of resources, and topic number 3 is conventional sources of energy, and topic number 4 is non-conventional sources of energy. So students, in first topic, non-metallic minerals, is mica. Mica is a mineral made up of series of plates or leaves, and it splits easily into thin sheets. And students, mica can be clear, black, green, red, yellow, or in brown color. And due to its excellent dielectric strength, low power loss factor, and insulating properties, and resistance to high voltage, mica is one of the most indispensable minerals used in electric and electronic industries. After that, mica deposits are found in the northern edge of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Koderma Gaya Hazaribagh belt of Jharkhand is the leading producer. Next one is limestone. So students, limestone is found in association with rocks composed of calcium carbonates or calcium and magnesium carbonates, and it is found in sedimentary rocks of most geological formations. So students, limestone is the basic raw material for the cement industry and essential for smelting iron ore in the blast furnace. Okay. After that, next topic is conservation of minerals. So students, you all know very well that nowadays, due to over and much use of all kind of resources, now we are in alarming point. And students, the total volume of workable mineral deposit is an significant fraction, that is 1% of the earth crust, and we are rapidly using mineral resource that required millions of years to be created and concentrated. And the geological process of mineral formation are very slow, and the rates of replenishment are infinitely small in comparison to the present rates of use or consumption by the human being. So students, as you know very well that mineral resources are finite and non-renewable. So many rich mineral deposits are our country's extremely valuable, but very short in quantity also, because we are continuously using. And continued extraction of ores leads to the increasing cost of mineral extraction. Okay, and also decreasing the quality of the different kind of resources. So students, if we want to use all kind of minerals in future, then we have to use in order and in very planned and sustainable manner. We have to improve technologies, need to be constantly evolved to allow use of low grade ores at low cost. And we have to follow some ideas and policy of sustainable development and recycling and using of scrap metal and other substitute for the conservation of mineral. Okay. After that, students, your next topic is next point is energy resources. So students, you know very well that energy is required for all kind of activities like for cooking and for lighting and heating and for moving vehicles and drive machineries in industry or anywhere. So students, these energy can be generated from fuel minerals like coal, petroleum, natural gas, uranium, and also from electricity. And students, energy resources can be classified as conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. And as you know very well that conventional sources include firewood, cattle dung, cake, coal, petroleum, natural gas and electricity. And non-conventional sources include solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, biogas and atomic energy. And students, still nowadays, even in modern India, firewood and cattle dung, cake are most common in rural India. And according to one estimate, more than 70% energy requirement in rural household is met by these two. Okay. So students, after that, your next topic is conventional sources of energy. So students, in which number one is coal. As you know very well that how coal is very important for us. So students, it is used for power generation to supply energy to industry as well as for domestic needs. And coal is formed due to the compression of plant material over millions of years. Therefore, coal is found in a variety of forms depending on the degrees of the compression and the depth and time of burial. So students, decaying plants in swamps produce peat which has a low carbon and high moisture content and low heating capacity. After that, lignite is a low grade brown coal which is soft with high moisture content, and the principal lignite reserves are in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu, are used for generation of electricity. Okay. Students, coal that has been buried deep and subjected to increased temperature is bituminous coal, and it is the most popular coal in commercial use, and these coals used in metallurgical coal, which is high grade bituminous coal which has a special value for smelting iron in blast furnaces. And after that, anthracite is the highest quality hard coal, and Jharia, Raiganj, Bokaro are very important coal field. But students, you know very well that coal is a very bulky material which lost weight on use and it is reduced to ash. But students, heavy industries and thermal power stations are located on near to coal field to reduce cost of transportation also. And students, in India, coal occurs in rock series of two main geological ages. Number one is Gondwana, a little over 200 million years in age, and in tertiary deposit which are only about 55 million years old. All right. After that, in India, Damodar Valley and West Bengal, Jharkhand, Jharia, Raiganj, Bokaro are important coal fields. And students, the Godavari, Mahanadi, Son and Varda valleys also contain coal deposits. And tertiary coals occur in the northeastern states of Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. After that, petroleum. So students, you know very well that petroleum provides fuel for heat and lighting, lubricants for machinery and raw materials for a number of manufacturing industries, and petroleum refineries act as a nodal industry for synthetic, textile, fertilizer and numerous chemical industries. And students, most of the petroleum occurrences in India are associated with anticlines and fault trap in the rock formations of the tertiary age. In regions of folding, anticlines are domes. It occurs where oil is trapped in the crest of the upfold, and the oil bearing layer is a porous limestone or sandstone through which oil may flow, and the oil is prevented from rising or sinking by intervening non-porous layers. And students, petroleum is also found in fault traps between porous and non-porous rocks. Okay. After that, students, the gas which is lighter, that's why usually occurs above the oil, and about 63% of India's petroleum productions is from Mumbai High, and 18% from Gujarat and 16% from Assam. And Assam is the oldest oil producing state of India. Digoi, Naharkatia and Moran Hugli are the important oil field in the state. Okay. After that, natural gas. So students, natural gas is an important clean energy resource found in association with or without petroleum, and it is used as a source of energy as well as an industrial raw materials in the petrochemical industry. And natural gas is considered an environment friendly fuel because of low carbon dioxide emission. And students, the large reserves of natural gas have been discovered in Krishna Godavari basin along the west coast. The reserves of the Mumbai High and allied field are supplemented by Gulf of Combe, Andaman and Nicobar Island are also important areas of natural gas. And after that, student, the 1700 kilometer long Hazaria and Bijaypur Jagdishpur cross country gas pipeline links Mumbai High and basins with the fertilizers, power and industrial complexes in western and northern India. Okay. And students, the power and fertilizer industries are the key users of natural gas. Use of compressed natural gas or CNG for vehicles to replace liquid fuels. Okay. After that, electricity. So students, you know very well that electricity is generated mainly in two ways: by running water which drives hydro turbines to generate hydroelectricity, and by burning other fuels such as coal, petroleum, natural gas to drive turbines to produce thermal power. So, students, thermal electricity, as I told you, generated by using coal, petroleum, and natural gas. So, students, near about there are over 310 thermal power plants in India, and India has a number of multi-purpose projects like the Bhagra Nangal Damodar Valley Corporation, etc., to generate hydroelectricity. After that, students, your next topic of the chapter is non-conventional sources of energy. So, students, as you know very well that the growing consumption of energy has resulted in the country becoming increasingly dependent on fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas. And students, due to the shortage of these important conventional sources of energy like coal, oil, and gas, prices started to rise. So, students, as you know very well that nowadays, due to the use of different kinds of mineral in different industries to complete needs and requirement, everything which are used by human being very blindly and indiscriminately. So, students, now the time is coming to save energy. All right. That's why many non-conventional sources of energy are developed by India to complete the needs and requirement of sources of energy. All right. And students, you know very well that India is blessed with an abundance of sunlight, water, wind, and biomass. Okay. And it has the largest programs for the development of these renewable energy resources. And the renewable energy resources are solar energy, wind power, biogas, and tidal energy, and also geothermal energy. So, students, your first point is solar energy. So, students, as you know very well that India is a tropical country and has enormous possibilities of trapping solar energy, and photovoltaic technology converts sunlight directly into electricity, and it will minimize the dependency of rural household on firewood and dung cakes, which in turn will contribute to environmental conservation and adequate supply of manure in agriculture sector also. Second one is nuclear or atomic energy. So, students, as you know very well that it is obtained by altering the structure of atoms. When such an alteration is made, much energy is released in the form of heat, and this is used to generate electric power. Like uranium and thorium, which are available in Jharkhand and the Aravalli ranges of Rajasthan, are used for generating atomic or nuclear power. After that, wind power. So, students, you know very well that India has a great potential of wind power. The largest wind farm cluster is located in Tamil Nadu from Nagarcoil to Madurai. Apart from these, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra, and Lakshadweep have important wind farms where we can generate electricity by wind power. After that, biogas. So students, you know very well that ships farm waste and animal and human waste we can use to produce biogas for domestic consumption in rural areas. And decomposition of organic matter gives gas or produce gas which has higher thermal efficiency in comparison to kerosene, dung cake and charcoal. So students, biogas plants are set up at municipal and cooperative and individual levels, and the plant using cattle dung are known as gobar gas plant in rural India. Okay. After that, tidal energy. So students, you have already learned in your previous classes, in class 8th even. Oceanic tides can be used to generate electricity, and floodgate dams are built across inlets. During high tide, water flows into the inlet and gets trapped when the gate is closed. Okay? So, after that, the tide falls outside the floodgate and the water retained by the floodgate flows back to the sea via a pipe that carries it through a power generating turbine. And students, in India, the Gulf of Khambat, the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat, on the western coast, and Gangetic Delta in Sundarban regions of West Bengal provide us ideal condition for utilizing tidal energy. Okay. And in last, geothermal energy. So students, as you know very well that geothermal energy we can obtain from the heat and electricity produced by using the heat from the interior of the earth. Okay. And geothermal energy exists because the earth grows progressively hotter with increasing depth, as you know very well that, where the geothermal gradient is high and high temperatures are found at shallow depths. So students, groundwater in such areas absorbs heat from the rocks and becomes hot. And it is so hot that when it rises to the earth's surface, it turns into steam. And students, steam is used to drive turbine and generate electricity. So students, there are several hundred hot springs in India which could be used to generate electricity. And 2 experimental projects have been set up in India to harness geothermal energy. And one is located in the Parvati Valley near Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, and other is located in Puga Valley in Ladakh. So students, finally your last topic of this chapter is conservation of energy resource. So students, as I told you that all kind of energy resources are a basic and very important requirement for economic development of a country. And every sector of India, like agriculture and industry and transport and for commercial and domestic purpose, we have required a lot and much energy. So students, the economic development of India plans implemented since independence of India. And students, as a result, consumption of energy in all forms has been steadily rising all over the country, and rising needs of the people and over and excess use of all kind of energy resources. Now all the resources are at the age of disappearing. So students, now there is a very urgent need to develop a sustainable development of resources and promotion of energy conservation and increased use of renewable energy sources are the twin planks of sustainable energy. So students, as I told you in my above example, that we have a future of energy by the solar, wind, biogas, tidal and geothermal energy. And students, India is presently one of the least energy efficient countries in the world, and we have to adopt a cautious approach for the judicious use of our limited energy resource. For example, as concerned citizen, we can do our bit by using public transport system instead of individual vehicles. We can switch off electricity when not in use, and we can using power saving devices and using non-conventional sources of energy, because after all, energy saved is energy produced. So students, finally your chapter number 5 is completed totally. But student, in this chapter you have to make all the maps which is given in your book, and you have to send to me as soon as possible. Alright students, so please, whatever map given in page number 54 and page number 59 and 61, you have to make very properly. Alright, thank you, have a nice day.